Head coach Scott Loeffler with us now to talk BGSU recruiting and already spring practice underway as well. But coach, as you look at this group of players, this phase of recruiting, it's certainly you're not done for one thing. Maybe we can talk about that in a little bit. But who are some of the guys on this list that we might see make an impact quicker than others? Let's start, obviously, at quarterback, Connor Bazelak.
Yeah, that's where we all need to start is the quarterback position. And just like I said, we opened up today with spring practice, and I thought Cam and Owen did a great job, really have improved over this last month. But having Connor come in, Connor's played a lot of football, and you saw that today in practice, in which you can see that he's had a lot of reps. So things come a lot easier to him, especially in a new system. So he did a nice job. And Dalen today was not able to practice, but because of a shoulder. But we'll get to see him here in a week. And then the young freshman, this Lucian Anderson. He's a guy that literally fell in our lap. And he might be one of the faster guys on our team, if not the fastest. He can fly. He brings a totally different element to our position. And someday down the road, you'll see a little bit turn in offense with him. But he's very exciting. He's explosive, and we found out today that he can run a little bit.
When you talk about Connor, then, what are the main attributes that we'll see, assuming that he's going to be your starting quarterback moving forward?
Well, we don't know that right now. You know, we have no idea who's going to be the starter, but the small things that we saw today was really impressive for a guy that walked in the door 3 weeks ago. And his tape is good. Just like I said, he's played a lot of football. Now there's some things that he needs to work on, clean them up fundamentally, teach him some things that I think could really elevate his game.
As far as this recruiting group in the wide receiver position, Fatai Abdul-Ibrahim coming from Alabama A&M, where you got OJ last year. He's a FCS All-American. Clearly, he's a guy you figure is going to make an impact immediately.
Yeah, Abdul is interesting. Whenever we were at practice today, you can't tell the difference between OJ and him, except all of a sudden you go, it's a bigger OJ. And he's big. He's got really big hands, but they run the same way. They look the same. They cut the same way. So that is a huge addition to our program. So very excited about him. Again, he's played a lot of football, very similar to Connor. You didn't recognize him as a guy that was young and had to learn things. You know, he's played a lot of football and did a lot of really good things today.
Coach, also out of this group of some of the guys that are not transfers, either the portal or JUCO, those older guys we might expect to see the field quicker. But of the high school recruits that you brought in this time, who are one or two of the guys we would expect to make an impact the quickest, if not this season, relatively soon?
Well, there's a lot of guys on this list that we really like, and Sean Thigpen, as soon as he can get to some size and strength, he's going to be a very good player. He doesn't have the huge amount of weight that Broden had to gain. He's not that thin, but he's going to be a guy that as soon as he puts on some size and strength, that he's going to be a really good wide receiver. He's all of 6'4". He can run. Played at Springfield High School right down the road. Did some great things in the state championship game. He's a dude. He's going to be a really good player. I really, there's some guys on here that we could sit here all day, but David Afogo from Massachusetts is a guy that you're going to want to watch. Boston College tried to get him late. He's going to be a big linebacker, and he can run. And he's going to be a heck of a football player. But there's a lot of guys on here. Jackson Cleather, the kicker, he's going to come in here, and he's got to make an impact right away. So Elijah Williams is a backer out of Buford that we really like. So there's quite a few guys on this list that might have a chance to play as true freshmen. Obviously, we evaluated them, we liked them, but who has the size right now would be David, Elijah that could come in. They don't look like freshman bodies. They're big, they're strong, they're good-looking guys that look like they've been in a college program for a while now.
Coach, you mentioned you had spring practice. We're talking on January 30th, already with spring practice. What's the thought process of starting that early, and what are you looking to get out of this spring in particular?
Well, there's lots of reasons. There's a ton. First off, it's the guys that had surgeries right after the bowl game. We weren't going to get them back anyway, so it didn't matter if we started spring ball on January 30th or we started spring ball like we normally do on March 16th. They're not playing. We're adding some strength coaches to our program. So we felt that let's get spring ball out of the way. So we have 8 straight weeks of heavy lifting to get bigger, stronger, and faster. The other reason is we've got a bunch of new faces that we wanted to introduce football to right off the get-go. And then you really use the months of March and April so that we can go the times that we're allowed to do football. They really got a really good understanding of what we're doing. And then last but not least, which I'm sure we're going to talk about, and there's going to be anywhere between 10 to 18 new faces that are going to trot in here on Memorial Day. And we want to make sure that the guys that we've brought into our program now, we've got a great evaluation. We're going to end up having that May window of recruiting now, and we need to make sure that we know the holes that we need to go out and recruit to fill. So we want to have a great evaluation of what we have right now, what we think we're going to be, what we want to be, and then obviously use the months of March and April to do a great evaluations on the guys that are in the portal to make a huge push to get the rest of our team here and start on June 1st. So really the month of June is going to look within the rules as close to the NFL OTA system like you've never seen. And it's going to be the most important. You're finally going to have your team together. And that's why coaching is going to be really, really important. Like really important. We got to make quick decisions on who we are, what we got, and really do a good job in the month of June coaching, and then have an exceptional training camp. So it's different. That's the old way of developing. Is kind of a thing of the past. We're going to bring in guys that are high school guys that we don't have an immediate need necessarily at a position. We're going to develop them, but there's going to be a lot of changing of the guard, and it's just not at Bowling Green, it's everywhere. I think the national average is 16.8 each time the free agency market opens.
Yeah.
So we'll be anywhere between 10 to 18 new guys in the program when Memorial Day hits.
Coach, final thought on that. What is the time frame of when all that movement can begin and when it will end? In other words, when will we start to see all these transfers actually happen?
It's so right now, whenever they open the portal on, I believe it was December 6th, 7th, a couple days after the season, those guys that are still in the portal, you'll be recruiting all the way from here until they can come into school in May. But then from April 15th to May 15th, they'll reopen the portal, and it's all the guys in spring football that have been through their springs, and now there's a whole new wave of players. I bet you there'll be anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 new players in the portal during that April-May period. So it's going to be a cycle that you're going to see anywhere between 15 new faces every time this thing opens and closes. It's the new wave of college football right now.
Well, it's a lot to keep up with, and we'll do our best when the time comes. Coach, congrats on this phase of recruiting. Got some real guys that'll make an impact. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Todd. I really appreciate it.